Hello there, Aries, and welcome to your very first reading of 2017. We have a lot to cover today, more than usual. I'm going to do your expanded forecast, which includes health, wealth, love, and destiny. Plus, I'm pulling 4 extra cards at the end to take a look at all of 2017. I'm breaking it down into quarters of the year. For those of you that would like that full calendar spread that I normally do, I will offer that as a private reading on my website, but I wanted to be a little bit more expedient and get the January plus the full year out for you by combining it like I am today. So I hope you like it. Let's shuffle the deck and get straight into your January 2017 reading. So if I haven't already said it, Happy New Year. I hope your holiday season was good, wasn't too exhausting, and that you hopefully got a little bit of much deserved rest. So let's go ahead and see what the cards have in store for you this month, and then we'll go into your channeled information. While I'm shuffling and pulling the cards, the channeled information that I'm going to share with you in a moment comes while I'm thinking about your sign, picking the appropriate deck, and then of course I do a shuffle before I begin. And when I was doing this, when I was preparing for you this month, one thought came through loud and clear. It was all about boundaries. And sometimes you guys wonder how I get this. For this month, I was actually feeling a sort of tightness or a blockage in the third chakra while I was getting ready to read for you. And so relationships often settle in that third chakra. And this could be either a partnership, it could be like a love partnership or a professional partnership, that the boundaries are either unhealthy or undefined. Okay, so if you haven't defined them, this is a great chance to talk about what you're comfortable with, what you expect from another person, check what their expectations are for you. And if you've just never sort of spoken up about something that's bothering you, please do that. For some of you, even though this reads boundaries, it can also read as codependency, because I get that empathic feeling that someone's tugging at you. And so for that, this is something where it says co because it's cooperative, there's two sides to it. The best thing you can do in a codependent relationship, whether it's maybe it's a father, maybe it's a mother, maybe again it's a former lover that you've had, if you're still feeling like there's connections or there's etheric chords, what you can try to do is a cord cutting meditation or just affirmations, because I believe thoughts and words can act as sort of like a razor or scissors. So you can basically incorporate a new way of thinking, and then it removes those cords. But anyway, we'll talk a little bit more maybe in January. I'm thinking of doing some one-off meditations or just basically chats about spiritual development. So I'll try to incorporate cord cutting or the third chakra as one of those. All right, let's take a look at everything else for you now. I'm going to hold on the catalyst because I want to basically. Well, you know what? I will pull the catalyst now, and I'll do a separate karma and destiny one when I'm looking at 2017. So your catalyst card is going to set the tone for January, and this is something that's going to bring everything into focus. So for your main focal point this month, we have integration, which is a great card. It is in reverse. So what I would like for you to focus on is this is sort of taking those dreams, hopes, aspirations, anything that you really should and could be doing, and bringing them into your everyday. So if you've always wanted to express yourself more artistically, or if you've always wanted to learn more about something, I want you to start to take the steps to integrate the true colors of your personality and your soul into your everyday. All right, we'll get more into that in a second. As we look at the cards for January, your center card is fantastic, Ace of Pentacles. Really good month for business, for developing new ideas at school, at work. It's also a great month to start construction. Very odd message for me to get, but I actually think some of you might be thinking of building a new home or building a new project. So for you, I see construction working very well. I feel like the money's going to come in and you'll be able to keep things on budget and on time. So great month for production, construction. And I also think that the money issues that you might have had at the end of the year are now in 2017 starting to take a turn for the better. Why is this? Because some of you may have already made the changes necessary. This could have involved leaving that relationship where I'm still feeling some of the boundary issues pop up. It could be some of you thinking about quitting a job and you're maybe going to make that change in January. And some of you may have experienced a loss in your life, a loss of a loved one, which may have resulted in perhaps unexpected money coming to you, money or property. And for the rest of you where this doesn't resonate, I would say the caution here is to take care of yourself. Death comes through when it's a cross card like this as a warning that change is around the corner, change or loss. And so what you can do right now is really focus on securing your assets. If you're not at a point where you're starting something new, this is about drafting up that will if you've never done it, making sure that your house is taken care of and that all of the nooks and crannies are completely compliant, like maybe earthquake ready or tornado ready or typhoon ready, depending on which part of the country or part of the world that you're living in. When I look at your deep past, this is a beautiful card for you. Whenever we get the star card, this is talking all about connecting to soul's purpose, your soul purpose. And I feel like you had a big opportunity that came through right at the end of last year, 2016. And it's going to continue to sort of soak through the beginning of this year. So if you haven't already started to integrate your hopes, dreams, aspirations, or hidden talents, this is the time. Don't hold back. For some of you, the only caution that I have is to try not to either sit on an idea too long and try to perfect it, so like being a perfectionist, or take too harshly other people's feedback. Particularly, you may have a very strong fire sign around you, maybe another Aries or a Leo or a Sagittarius who's pushing their influence. What you have to do is really try to find the positive aspects of their constructive criticism or not so constructive criticism and move forward. Nine of Cups says, be happy with what you have, focus on the positive, keep nurturing and working with all of the great opportunities in front of you, and your possibilities should be limitless. I feel like for those of you that needed to experience some sort of a loss or setback, you're either in the midst of it or you're already getting through it. And if you do still experience something this month that's a little bit of a roadblock, I don't think it's going to be a deal killer because most of your cards are very positive here on the right. As I look at where you're headed in the short term future here, maybe in the next 3 months or so, I see Queen of Wands. So I feel like if you've had an idea and you've been keeping it to yourself, you will be able to execute it and do something great with it. For me, the Queen of Wands can also be sort of like a magician card, because think about wands, we don't always realize that there's a little bit of magic to it. So what your key to success, your key to really bringing through this Ace of Pentacles card is capitalizing on unusual ideas or unique executions on maybe an old standard. So for those of you that are trying to sell a house, you're going to find something unique that will bring it out. You maybe restore a certain feature of it that's going to make this stand out from everything else. For those of you that are trying to sell something like a creative idea, maybe a painting or a written work, the more you are sort of doing something because it's just never been done before, the better this has a chance of selling, even though typically people don't want to take a chance on it. For you, it's the unusual, it's the amazing, it's that sort of essence of yourself that's going to set you apart from everyone else. The other thing is you might have a really strong air sign coming into your life. So if this isn't an aspect of your personality, you could meet either a strong peer or an adversary coming through your life, and your challenge will be to hold your own, okay? And like I said before, boundaries is going to pop up time and again, and what you want to try to do here is not let them push you out of the way, especially if you've worked really hard to get where you're at. All right, I'm going to pull the camera down and leave it here for a minute. I know a lot of you like to see the cards as I'm talking about them. So your ego right now is saying that there's a desire possibly to connect a little bit more with children or to connect to missed aspects of your childhood. So what does that mean? Well, what that means is maybe it's time to go to like Harry Potter, like the Wizarding World of Harry Potter in Orlando or in Los Angeles, and experience like life through the eyes of a kid. Or it could be reading a book that you haven't read for years, or just treating yourself to something fun, something that kids have no problem doing, but as adults we feel like all we can do is work, and if we don't work, then we're not doing a good job. This is showing that the play is actually not only going to bring you joy, but could bring a lasting relationship. Six of Pentacles is a card of someone from your past, sometimes a soulmate that comes in. And the exciting thing with this is that when you're not looking for that love, love interest, sometimes it comes right through the door. And so I would love for you to just sort of relax, have fun, and you could have an unexpected romance or a deepening of a friendship that you've already cultured. This could be the like side effect. And so give it a chance and see what happens. When I look at your resources, environment, and also what's happening around you, things will slow down a little bit, but this is a busy month for you. January is going to maybe start off a little sluggish, and then I feel like, wham, it's really going to get busy. You can handle it, but it is very important for you to sort of step aside, take a break. This is something where, depending on the weather and what your climate is, if you could even just get out every day for lunch and take a 10-minute walk, it's going to totally rejuvenate rather your life and the way you're thinking. So take time to basically meditate a little bit in the middle of the day, and it's going to help. Money, looking into the middle of January and also into the first part of the new year, is looking like it is something where you're going to have to juggle. You may have either bigger investments or expectations where some of that money that you've been stockpiling is going to need to be used. I'm not seeing it as something that you need to worry about. It's more in your fear area, and it looks like January is going to bring new opportunities for money and for career. So just be wise about how you spend. Don't overextend. Don't do any luxury items in January. As we look at the final card for January 2017, we have Six of Wands in reverse, which means slowed but eventual success and recognition. The very last week of the month is not probably the time where you want to put a house up for being sold or listing like any sort of luxury items, a car, a boat, a computer. You want to probably wait and list those instead in February. The beginning of the month is okay, but as you get to the middle and the end, resources are going to be a little bit tighter for everyone, and I think it wouldn't be the best time. The other thing with the Six of Wands in reverse, I'm getting a message of being a little bit more secure. So it has more to do with insecurity, not worrying so much about what other people think, because what they're going to pick up on is your nonverbal cues. So sometimes when people, even the way they sit, if you're sitting like this and having a conversation, it shows that you're active and you're ready. If you sort of sit back like this and you kind of look down and your voice is sort of low, they're not going to take you as seriously. So I want you to focus on projecting nonverbal confidence, not in a sort of weird or crazy way. Just pull your posture up a little bit, smile a little bit, and try to not cower, keep eye contact. This stuff is going to help you, and it's really going to result in unexpected success, and you might get pulled into sort of situations you'd never imagine, just because they sense, you know what, that person's got it together. They're ready for the challenges that I'm going to bring to them. Let's go ahead and look at health, wealth, love, and destiny, and then I'm really excited to take a look at what the rest of the year has in store for you. So we'll start first with your health card. And for 2016 January, it says it's all about forgiveness. And believe it or not, the third chakra, and boundaries in particular, has a lot to do with forgiveness. I had an experience in meditation where I discovered I still harbored feelings of like resentment or hate for someone, hatred. And as I let go of those, I felt a major release. And again, maybe I'll talk about that in a video later this month. But I really encourage you to let go of the poison, basically, that can settle in here when you feel hatred towards someone. Just think to yourself, I love myself enough to not basically obsess over this person. And I believe in karma. I believe that things have a way of working out. I'm not going to worry so much and put so much energy into this person. And you're going to feel a great release. It's going to help your entire mind, body, and spirit. So please, please, please work on forgiveness. As we look at your wealth and opportunity card for January 2017, law of attraction. Love this, love this, love this. And it really does fit with this card here. So if you are starting to do the type of work that you've always dreamed, if you've let go of maybe a 9-to-5 job that didn't feel good, that paid the bills but wasn't what you wanted, but you started to go down a new path, this is showing you that you're supported in that decision as long as you've saved enough. You're not putting yourself in a place where basically you can't pay the bills. But if you're starting to do the job you like and hoping that more will come to you, then this is saying keep working at it. It's like For those of you that enjoy gardening, year by year the soil gets richer and richer based on how you put what fertilizer you put in it, how you rotate the different crops or whatever you're putting in there. So this is a long-term thing. You're going to reap the benefits of this reward after several years of hard work, but it's all starting now and you're beginning a new cycle of prosperity. Okay? Let's now take a look at your relationship card, health, wealth, love. Yeah, we're looking at love now. And your love card is divine purpose, which is perfectly underlining what I saw here in the deep past. I want you guys to start to work on what you want to do. Again, that doesn't mean that you just randomly quit. It means that you start to put in a plan to either take some training courses or maybe transfer to a new division, but I want you to get closer to it, what it is that you came on this planet to do. For those of you that don't know, spend some time meditating and just ask yourself, if money wasn't an issue, what would you be doing with your time? What is it that you truly loved as a child? What is it that you enjoy watching on television when you're not worried about things? So maybe for some of you that's arts and crafts, maybe it's cooking, maybe it is healing and prayer. There's no wrong answer, but you need to do more of it, not only in this month, but I would say also in 2017. All right, so as we look now at your destiny card, you're going to see more of that in 2017, but I want to look at just January and see if you're on the right track. Details, details, details. So really what you want to be focusing on in January is setting those seeds in motion, making sure, like I said earlier, if there's anything that you need to take care of, maybe with a will, maybe with a contract, maybe with wrapping up something, you want to make sure that there's no detail left basically unfinished or unturned. All right, so I'm going to review everything in January, and then we're going to skip forward into 2017. So to review, your channeled information was to create boundaries or take a look at existing boundaries and make sure that they feel okay. We got a lot of confirmation that integration is key, integration with your soul's purpose, or as this card said, your divine purpose. It is time to start working on the path that you've always wanted to. Money is going to be good at the beginning of the month, or there will be new opportunities to create money. Even if you're in a place of debt or lacking, you can absolutely create new opportunities. For many of you, that is going to entail leaving behind maybe a career, a job, or trying something so new that it might feel like a 180-degree change. For some of you, maybe holding on to an old path that isn't working, and I challenge and encourage you to gently work towards your purpose. We have two contrasting cards here in your past and your present / future. And so what I see here is that you're going to need to try not to be a perfectionist. It's time to share what you have with the world. So again, for some of you, that may just involve sharing an unfinished project and letting people weigh in on it. Optimism is going to be your friend, not letting the negativity of some of these strong fire signs potentially around you weigh you down. A need to have fun, to connect with that inner child, and also with the children around you, grandchildren, friends, even if you're just wanting to be around young sort of people, maybe pets and other people's children if you want to babysit, etc. But that energy is going to help you connect with possibly the creative side of yourself. So see how it feels natural, and maybe you can create an opportunity to be around that youthful energy. As we look at your environment card, lots going on. It's going to start slow but end up being a very, very busy January. I want you to be careful not to overexert yourself or to spend too much time or energy on luxury items. And I see eventual success for you. So I'm going to clear this because, again, we have a lot to look at. And I want to take a peek now at 2017. And with 2017 for you, we'll pull 4 cards. Each of those cards is going to indicate a quarter of the year. So if there's 4, it would be 3, so 3 months a piece. And I want to pull 2 cards. We're going to look at your karmic opportunity for 2017. And this will be your karma card. And we're going to look also at a destiny card for the whole year, which is going to really show what your opportunity is to grow over the course of 2017. All right, and let me give this deck a good shuffle, and we're going to look at the 4 quarters of the year and give you a little bit of a theme for where this is all going. So I'm happy to say money is coming through again as we look at the second quarter of the year. All right, let's look at these two cards first. So we have a reversed card for your karma card, the Inquirer. This is about not just asking and talking to other people like, okay, let me pull up the camera here. So the Inquirer card can come up if if you remember the general read said, it's important to pay attention to details. So sometimes when you're either receiving an assignment or maybe you're just going about your day-to-day life, but you think, should I do this? This is that clarification card. And it's saying, don't be too shy. Don't worry about this. Don't worry about raising your hand and saying, you know what, I could use a little bit of clarity or a little bit of assistance on this. Would you mind? It's all in how you ask the question. The other part of this card is about going deeper into yourself. A lot of us get so busy. We'll keep the TV on, we'll just read, we play games, whatever it is to sort of distract ourselves, instead of asking some of those questions like, am I happy with my life? Do I want to do something different for my career? When is it that I want to get married or have a family? Like, we can start to map out some of those things, but you need to set aside the quiet time and not make it like 20 questions. Just sit with yourself a little bit and see what the first thing is that comes through. That's how meditation works sometimes. You don't have to basically have a list. Otherwise, your mind is going to be so busy that you won't be able to connect. So I would say step one for many of you this year is just to create space. Step two is to listen. And then once you feel comfortable and have a little bit, maybe ask one question during your point of meditation. Not 20, just one. Sort of like, where should I be going? What should I be doing next? Keep it a little bit open-ended. Maybe you want it to be focused on career, but that's how you can start to get clarity in your life. I want it to feel effortless. This year should be something where, especially if you're connected to divine purpose, that came up a couple of times, you should start to see that law of attraction work in your favor and things basically start to go your way. Okay, so if you fight this, then you're going to literally be like a fish trying to swim upstream, and it's not going to be very effective. All right. As we look at the year ahead, the first 3 months, January, February, and March, I feel like you're going to be in a very, very good place. This is a good time at work for leadership opportunities. It's a great time to sort of sit and, we were talking about meditation, but also plan. So for those of you that are more in sort of like manual labor, whether you're in construction or you work with your hands, maybe maybe you're an architect, or maybe you have some sort of a medium where it involves building, constructing. This says what you want to start to do in the first 3 months is to plan. Hold off on, like hands off a little bit, sketch things out, draw things out, spend the next part of the year on the construction, on the execution. So even if this is not like, like I said, construction, this could be about creating a new business. This could be about proposing and deciding when to get married. I really think the first 3 months of the year are a planning period. For those of you looking for wedding dates or looking for when to propose, the next 3 months look good. So this was January, February, March. April, May, and June are looking a lot better for things to start to come into motion and for things to start to connect. As we look at July, August, and September, this is the only time of the year that I see things slowing down a little bit for you, or going not in the direction that you want. So when you reach a sort of a block in the road here, two things are coming up. First of all, this is a Swords card, which is about communication. So I really want you to focus on that third quarter of the year, thinking about how can I be a more effective communicator. How can I make sure that contracts are completely, basically from A to Z, exactly where you need them to be. Look at all the details, make sure you've talked to a lawyer, make sure that everything is accounted for. The final part of the year, it could actually intensify a little bit for you. So what I see here is a very strong start to 2017. Again, January, February, March, April, May, and June. This first part, you can think through some great ideas, come up with great plans, execute on a lot of those plans, possibly get a new job, new money opportunities coming through. I also see improved health for many of you. When I look at the latter part of the year, it's not all doom and gloom, but what it's saying is you are going to have to work a little bit harder to get what you want in the second part. It comes easier here. And then when we look at this effortless thing, pay attention to why you're getting blocked. Is it because either you're not listening, which can happen with the Prince of Swords card, Or is it happening because you're not either executing to something that is what people are looking for those of you that are creating like consumer goods, or for those of you that are trying to sell a skill set? Maybe you are, you're independently self-employed basically, and you're trying to sell your services. This is about paying attention to how you're marketing and listening to what your clients want. So what I think here is, this is the part of the year that you want to think. This is the part that you want to execute. And as we come into the third and fourth quarters, basically looking from July to December, this is the time when you want to do a lot more listening, and you have to push a little bit harder. Once you're sure that you're okay, push a little bit harder. And if you still can't get where you want, remember, effortless was your message. So what that means is, if you force something too much, really the universe is saying, this isn't the optimal way to go. So this would be a great time to ask for advice, to seek out a good mentor, and to really think about where you see yourself in a couple years. Because a lot of times we focus so much on our checkbook, on our family, our house, the things that are very important but just about now, and we forget the long-term view. So for the last part of the year, I want you to take a deep breath, listen to what people are saying, start to observe best practices around you for those of you in business. For those of you that are just at home and just thinking, how does this apply to me? This is saying the first part of the year is a time for, again, it still holds true that you want to sort of stay a little bit more in your head, not worry so much about getting everything done. That still happens in the second part. But for those of you, again, that maybe aren't working, or maybe are a student, this part is about tuning in. So making time for meditation, maybe reevaluating, because we saw the death card at your sort of general reading, reevaluating your long-term goal. This could mean, for those of you in school, a change of majors. And for those of you that are in a permanent job, thinking about trying on a new role at work, or transferring to a new division. I see that as a gradual change, possibly taking you into 2018, but start to pay attention towards the end of the year. That's going to be where, if it's feeling like it's too much work or you're forcing it, it's time to make a change. And I see that there is potential struggle going through those final months, so I want to help you avoid it. We'll of course have a chance to look at these next year as we pull up each month, so don't panic too much, because as we're looking 6 to 12 months out, there's a lot of things that can change. I would pay the most attention to the beginning of this year, which looked really good, and then each month afterwards we'll take a look and see what else is going to keep changing and shaping those parts of your destiny. Hopefully this was helpful for you. It looks like overall you have a good year ahead, and especially when it comes to money. So congratulations on working hard, and take advantage of those opportunities as they come your way. Again, if any of you need more of a detailed one, last year I pulled 12 cards. I'm doing that independently on my website, just because that would have taken another 20 or 30 minutes, and it was just a lot to do 24 videos this month. So feel free to reach out. I'll put a link in the corner, and you can see my availability and rates. Otherwise, I just want to say thank you. This is a service that I do for you guys, whether or not you can afford a reading. I like to give back, and I really appreciate all of the support that you guys have given me over the past couple of years as I've been doing this. If you'd like to stay in touch, the easiest way is just to click subscribe. I appreciate all the likes and comments, so keep those coming. You can also connect with me via my newsletter, and there'll be a link at the end of this video on how to subscribe. And I'm on most social media networks, and I'll also link those up for you. If you want to give back a little bit extra, there's a donate link, but that's completely optional. Otherwise, as I said at the beginning, Happy New Year. I can't wait to sort of see what's coming through. There's going to be a lot of changes for all of us, including myself. I have some projects that I'll announce later this year, but more to come. All right, take care of yourselves. Happy New Year, and thanks again for being with me for this exciting journey. Bye-bye.